What up, folks? It's Tim, your boy Chicago, coming to you once again from the stinking Lincoln. But let me get my lighting straight. I'm actually impromptu and on the road, so forgive me about the bad lighting. As you can see, this video is titled, Are Race Relations in America Getting Better? Well, it's a good question. We're going to go ahead and tackle that. But before we get into it, I'm going to ask you to do what I always ask you to do. Go ahead and punch that subscribe button. I've been getting a few more subscribers. Not where I want to be, but I do appreciate those who are watching. And once again, I'm going to say some stuff that you might not like. And if you don't like it, feel free to hit the dislike button. If you want to talk about it in the comments, I'm always there with the keyboard. Keyboard warrior in full effect. I love it. Love it. If you like what I got to say, please hit the like button. Thumbs up. Sounds good to me. But anyway, are race relations in America getting better is the question we're going to tackle today. From my standpoint, we've been through 8 years of Barack Obama, first black president in American history, which undoubtedly you'd expect to cause some racial tensions. I mean, the first black, literally everything is generally met with resistance. And I mean, first black baseball player or, first black anything is generally met with resistance. That's just the way it normally has been. And then after 8 years of Obama, we had 4 years of Trump. So there are a lot of people who are saying, on both sides, I'm not just saying liberals are saying this or Republicans are saying this, I'm saying on both sides, there are plenty of Republicans that are saying Obama set race relations in America way back. And there are plenty of liberals, obviously, that are blaming the setback of race relations on former President Trump. And hardly anybody is going to say that Joe Biden is repairing those relations. Mainly because both Obama and Trump have not disappeared. I mean, Obama's still out there and Trump is obviously still a strong force within the Republican Party. So if you believe that Barack Obama or Donald Trump had an issue on race relations in America, then you'd have to believe that they still may be affecting that, because both of them are still kind of hovering over what's going on in U.S. politics. And like I said, Trump is doing so even more so than Obama, because it is expected that he will potentially run again for president in 2024. In fact, June, May 19th today, I believe the first week of June, Trump is going to be holding a rally. Don't know if it's going to be him talking about running for president, or it's just going to be more things about what happened with the election or something of that nature. But Trump is back. So whatever the case may be. But is race relations in America, do you believe race relations in America are improving? My response is absolutely they're getting better. There is no, and I say this all the time, because you used to hear people saying during the Trump era, make America great again. And my response would be, as a black minority, there is no point in U.S. history that I would rather go back to. I mean, I wouldn't even want to go back to 2020. So certainly there is no point that we have passed the good old days and things like that you often hear people talk about. There's no year in American history that me as a minority would think that going back to that year would be a better time for minorities, better time for race relations. I just vehemently disagree with that. I think that race relations are steadily getting better and better and better. Now, obviously, there are plenty of people who do not like the woke culture. They do not like seeing, I won't say history being rewritten, because, let's say tearing down Confederate statues, for instance. Some people think that that's rewriting history or erasing history. My take is telling history accurately is angering people. And that's also having an effect on current race relations. Christopher Columbus didn't discover America, for instance. That's pissing some people off. Did he discover America? That's up to you, yes or no. I've heard people try to say, well, even though there were people here, he went back and told the English who knew nothing about the country. So for the English, he discovered America. Okay, then why are you teaching it in America, in a country where there's Native Americans? So that doesn't make sense to me. For instance, if you are a descendant of Native Americans and you go to a public school in the United States, you are being taught that Christopher Columbus discovered America. How could that possibly make sense when your ancestors did it? So, yeah, I think that that's one of the things that is hurting race relations, is trying to get history told from a point of accuracy as opposed to American exceptionalism. And that's how our history was given to us, is that America's the best country on earth. Nobody can hold a candle to us, and we're going to teach history based on us forming the best country on earth. All of the things that may have went wrong along the way and things like, we'll tell you about a little bit of that, but we're going to kind of keep that under wraps. Let's just kind of exaggerate on the great parts of America, even if we got to add things to it. And I think that that is certainly not helping race relations in America, because generally it is the minorities who are promoting these changes. Whereas, I guess we really can't say it's a black and white thing, because the liberal whites are on a different side, or have a different mindset than the right wing or the white conservatives. The liberal whites in America tend to be more along the lines of the minorities. I mean, they too believe that Confederate statues and things like that should come down, and they're the ones who are also saying Christopher Columbus didn't discover America and all of that kind of stuff. The right wing, the Caucasians that are right wing, are the ones that are a little bit at odds on that. So it's kind of right now, I guess if I was, leaning hard to the right, I would feel like America was against me, similar to what you hear them say, because for the most part, you have Muslims, the homosexual community, liberal whites, blacks, Mexicans, all of these other groups, the LGBT community, all of these people are grouped up here against right-wing conservative white people. That's pretty much it. There's a few, LGBT conservatives. There's a few black conservatives and things like that. But for the most part, the conservative party is predominantly white. And the liberal party is literally all of these other groups that I just mentioned. So I guess if I was a white conservative, I probably would feel like it's me against the world. So that's and that's where you're starting to hear things like, well, it's safe to discriminate against white people when they're mistreating us. And a term I believe is called white grievance. And you're hearing that more and more. But in my opinion, sticking with the original topic, race relations in America are getting a lot better. There's going to be some people who overstate racism, can find racism in everything, and there's going to be some people who continue to understate racism and deny it exists at all. There's nothing you're going to be able to do about those people. It's hopefully most of us are in the middle, where we can judge things with some fairness and, kind of be reasonable with things. But overall, there's no doubt that race relations are improving. There's issues with police and things like that, but let's just be real. This shit with police has always existed. The only difference between what's going on in 2021 with police and what would have happened in 1970 or 1980 is that more people actually believe it, because there's video footage. There's people of stature now that are saying, yeah, this is real. It used to just be something that person would say, look, I got mistreated by police. The police would say it didn't happen, and everybody would believe the police. And that was the end of it. That's not happening now, when people can pull out a camera or something to say, look, here it is. Or you got other cops on the stand, like in the case of George Floyd, saying, yeah, they were wrong for doing this. And that did not used to happen. It was the cops pretty much giving the benefit of the doubt in every case. Well, they're still giving the benefit of the doubt. But when you're looking at video evidence, that doesn't help as much. Also, I will say that when it comes to minorities believing that they were being mistreated by police, in previous eras, there were no minorities in a position to do anything about it. It was literally up to a minority who felt he was a victim of wrongdoing by police to go plead to someone white, generally, and ask them to prosecute the case or file a report or something like that. Now you have a lot of minorities that are in positions of power. You have black sergeants, black lieutenants, black chief of police, black prosecutors, black district attorneys, mayors, all the way on up. So now you're not necessarily just pleading with someone white. You may be a minority and go plead with another minority. And so I do believe that race relations are getting better. It's just that some people wanted to move at lightning speed and they're not happy. And some people want us to, kind of slow down with the progress we're making. We're moving too fast and things like that, and they're not happy. But the people in the middle generally will admit race relations are getting better. It's going to be a little bit difficult with so much video footage coming out. It's going to be difficult as long as you keep fighting through the thin blue line and stuff like that. But justice takes time. It doesn't happen overnight. But overall, there is no era in American history where we can go back to and say that race relations in that particular year in the past was better than they are now. If there was not a lot of racial upheaval in one of those years, it's mainly because the people who were being mistreated were not getting a listening ear. That's really all it is. I mean, you go back to say you think there was not a lot of racial riots going on in 1981. No, but the problems were still there. It's just the people who were being victimized were not being listened to. Now you can have a victim cry out, and before you know it, there's protests or there's legislation being passed all over the country. So it does look like racial relations are worse, but in fact, that is actually how progress looks. Progress never comes easy. It's kind of like if you look at America in the early days. Were we a stronger country 1 year after coming here from the British, or 5 years later when we were at war with them? During the time we were at war, we're going to be a lot stronger, but it looks messy. Progress never comes easy. That's probably the best way I can say it. But I'm going to go ahead and make this one short and sweet. Just wanted to get on here and yap at you guys, because I would love to hear your opinion. Do you believe race relations are improving in America, or do you believe that they actually have been set back? And I would love to know, why do you feel that way? Do you blame it on Obama? Do you blame it on Trump? Do you blame it on some other entity? Do you blame it on police, for instance? Because they are at the forefront of a lot of racial conversations. Or do you tend to agree with me, which I'm saying that race relations in America are getting better? It's just, the fight to improve it is a messy fight, but I do believe they're getting better. Hit me up in the comments. I'm going to go ahead and stop this one here. Love to hear from you. Like I said, any response to this, you definitely will hear back from me in the comments. It's been good chatting with you guys. Like I said, punch that subscribe button. Like what I had to say, give me a thumbs up. Don't like what I got to say? I'm not scared of you. Your boy Chicago out.